everybody, it's Stacie Duffy here, your Denver Metro real estate resource, and today I want to talk about buying in an uncertain market. So if you're considering buying a home, because these are the questions I'm getting right now, right? These are the clients that I have, and I've got a really good spread of stories to kind of give examples of this, but there's so much, and I'm sorry, I haven't posted videos in forever. I've been working, with a lot of clients, and I haven't been sitting and taking the time to post videos because I've been running around town so much. So I wanted to take a minute and kind of answer some questions. If you're considering buying in an uncertain market, because there's all the fear mongering of the media of like, oh my gosh, home prices have plummeted. Yeah, list prices. And a lot of that is seasonal. So I'll talk a market update and statistics numbers, and as far as how much of that is seasonal, how much of it is really market reaction, correction, all of this kind of stuff in another video as far as the numbers. But there's a lot of, oh my God, the bubble's going to burst. And I get people comment on my videos all the time, the bubble's going to burst. And I was like, yeah, I've been hearing that since 2017. I've been hearing it since before then, before I even got into this business and everything else. And so that's fine. That is their choice. I am all about the long game, right? What makes sense in the long term? And so buying in an uncertain market, I have a few questions that really make sense. So the first one is, what is your current situation? Because for some of my buyers, Monday, two days ago, I met with a buyer that the answer was, I know you want to buy something, but given your situation and what you're telling me of how your income is set up and what you're currently paying to live, stay put, save money, call me in 9 months, 12 months. And I think we can definitely get you a lot better, but right now, just save as much money as you can, okay? I have other clients that I just closed that it was, she was like, I don't know what to do, but I can't do what I'm doing right now. So should I go find a cheaper place to live? Should I renew my lease on a shorter term? Should we go start shopping right now? And she ended up closing and saving a bunch of money versus what she was paying in rent. Even at a almost 6% interest rate, like 5.75 or 5.825. And the cost of her inspection. Like, she literally got all of her other money back. Her earnest money back. Her down payment was covered. Anyway, closing costs were covered. So she is now saving $400 a month versus what she was paying, or $350 a month versus what she was paying, and almost, little over $600 a month versus what her renewed lease would have been for $500-$600 of an inspection. And it's like, wow. So she's really happy. I have another client that their rent is going up 30%. 30%. And so, but they decided to renew their lease. So there's all kinds of different stuff, but it's, what's your current living situation? So if your living situation is you own a home, you have a really cheap interest rate, your home checks a lot of your boxes, maybe you don't absolutely love it, you've been thinking like, well, maybe we want to get a nicer place, maybe we would really love, an extra bedroom or a little bit more updated or something, but you're relatively happy where you're at. Like, the only reason you're thinking about moving is because you watch too much TV and cruise on Zillow way too much and see all these pretty places. Guys, stay put. Because the loan that you're going to get, the cost to get what you want is going to be so much more, it doesn't make sense. So if it is, my home does not work for me, I'm about to, lose it. Sorry, the filter kicked in just in time. I have a really hard time. It doesn't meet our needs. We're not happy here. My marriage is at risk. My family situation is at risk because I need X and I don't have it, whether that's extra bedrooms, a yard, a shorter commute, whatever. Then yes, make your home work for you. Don't work for your house. Okay? I have so many people that they're like, well, but this is where I live. Okay? Move. I know it sucks, but if you don't go through a little bit of pain, you can't get a lot of happiness. All right. So what's your living situation? If you're living really cheap and you don't have to move, don't move. If it doesn't work for you and you got to find something, or you're paying through the nose in rent, or your rent's going up, consider moving, because even at 5, 6, 7% interest rates, your rent may be more than what your mortgage would be, or your rent may be the same price or $50 less, $100 less per month. And the long-term gain of buying something, even if you're paying a little bit more per month, a lot of times that's made up in your taxes. Being able to itemize the interest on your loan and write that off of your, reduce your taxable income by that much. And that may be the wash. Like, that may be the piece that it's like, oh, now it makes sense to do. Okay. And also, if you move a lot, like if you're like, I'm just going to be moving in 6, 9, 12 months, don't buy. don't buy. It doesn't make sense. There's cost to buy and there's cost to sell. And in a rapidly appreciating market that we've had for way too long now, those costs have been covered in a very short period of time. So you could buy your house and sell it 6-9 months later and all of those costs were covered. That is not normal, and that is not going to be the case going forward. So kind of the classic rule of thumb of in a more conservative market, in a market that appreciates 3, 4, 5% a year versus the 10, 15, 20 plus percent that we've had, which is just freaking crazy. Plan to be in your place for 2, 3, 4 years. Okay. My safe rule is about 3%, or is about 3 years, because at 3% appreciation a year, which is really, really conservative, and given our housing demand, the overall need for housing, that's a pretty conservative estimate. That's an annual average. No, the market has not appreciated 3% in the last 3 months. It's been going down, but that's really seasonal. Like overall, our market appreciation happens the first half of the year. The second half of the year, it drops down a little bit. Overall, it's a net plus. Okay. So 3 years is my safe rule of thumb of, okay, that will usually cover your buying and selling expenses. And then the principal payments that you made and the equity that you have in the home, you get that back, right? So the appreciation covers your costs to do the deals, and then your principal payments becomes the bonus, and you get that money back. So a portion of what you would have paid, because you're going to pay to live somewhere, okay? At least with owning something, if you have to sell and move or whatever, yes, there's more costs in the process, but if those costs are covered, you get some of that money back, okay? So that's my big rule of thumb. What's your situation, right? How much are you paying? Do you have to move? Are you happy where you're at? And then that second question of how long are you going to be there? Okay. If it's 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, even 18 months, borderline 2 years, I'm like, your call. If you somebody that just like to own something, because I have people that refuse to rent, fine. If you're going to keep it, whatever you buy, and you're going to move up to something else, you just need a temporary situation, but you can keep it and rent it out later. Depending on the situation and the long-term rent scenario, because sometimes for investor, it gets a little messier, but that may make sense. But if it's just a short term, hey, I'm probably going to move in 18 months, or less, 2 years or less, just rent something. It makes more sense. So the 2, 3, 4, 5+ years, or I need to move, but I don't know where I'm going to be. Okay. If you don't know where you're going to be, chances are you're going to be there longer than you think, because everybody oh my gosh, commitment, right? I guess it comes down to commitment. So many people are afraid to commit to something because they don't know the answer. They don't know that I'm going to be here for 20 years, so I'm definitely going to buy something, whatever. Most people are not the sporadic, I can't think of the word right now, but they're not the type of person to just, get up and do something, right? They're like, most people are like, I don't know, risk-averse, fear of loss, right? I'm more worried about what I'm going to lose than what I might gain out of this. So people tend, when they get discomfort or they get uncomfortable or there's a level of discomfort, they just kind of like stay put, which means you're probably going to be there longer than you think, which is why people renew leases at crazy prices, because it's like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. If I take the time to shop around and I can't really save any money, then I didn't really save anything and I just wasted a bunch of time. So it's easier for me to just sign a button and then like give more money. I know, I get it, guys. Like, there are some things where I'm like, it's just easier to do this and not mess with it. But when it comes to your long-term financial position, that is not the thing that I just want to hit the easy button. Because the people that hit the easy button don't get anywhere. Or someone else makes the button really easy, like me. I'm like, hey, I'll walk you through this step by step. Is it pain-free? No. My job is to educate you so you can understand and make an educated decision, because it's not my money, it's yours. But I want you to know your options and I want to help you with this, whatever makes most sense for you. Okay. So those are my big questions in an uncertain market: is what's your current situation and is it livable? And then 2, how long are you going to be there? Okay. Because a lot of people, like I said, I've closed people recently that even at a 5.75% interest rate and literally no money, no money to get into the place as far as down payment, closing costs, whatever. She had some available, but we ended up not having to use it. And still saving money every month. For some people that are paying an astronomical amount in rent, that makes sense. For others that are living pretty cheap, or they have a really, really cheap rate on their house or something like that, and it still meets their needs, guys, now's not your time. Like, there's no point. It's, unless it's just really, really worth it to you and you're willing to pay $1,000 a month or whatever in the increase in price to get that little bit that you're missing. So those are my big things on buying in an uncertain market. You're going to pay to live somewhere. I mean, unless you're just like living in mom and dad's basement, which is cool. So awesome. You know, more power to you. If you, like I said, living situation, if you can live in mom and dad's basement and save a bunch of cash, go do it. Now's your chance to do it. So yeah, anyway, hopefully that answers some questions for y'all. I'm going to shoot some more follow-up videos that kind of like branch off of this a little bit on, you know, what the market condition is, what makes sense, running through those scenarios a little bit more with people. But if you are looking to buy or sell here in the Denver metro area, please reach out to me. I absolutely love my job. I love helping, people make a game plan for what makes sense for them, even if the answer isn't buying right now. But it's like, hey, let's make the long-term plan of here's where you want to be in 5 years. Here's some stuff that we can take to get there, versus just 5 years down the road being like, well, I guess we never did it, and being in the same position you're in now. Okay. So thanks so much for the time, and have a good one.